Welcome back. We're going to keep talking about functions. Now, the thing to remember about functions is they're basically the equations we've been working with the last couple of weeks, okay? We're just specifically calling them functions right now, okay? So I want you to go back. Your warm-up is just to write what the definition of a function is. So go back from your notes from yesterday and look at that. Okay, and yesterday we kind of talked about mapping it. It's either a one-to-one relation or a many-to-one relation, okay? So be mindful of that. Today we're going to work on kind of taking a story problem, turning it into our table, and then turning it into a graph. And then we can check to make sure it is a function, which most of these are going to be functions for us. Okay, so bear with me. We're going to kind of go back to those skills we've been working on before, but I'm going to go through them again because after the exam we need to review them. Okay. So we'll be using our prior experience with tables and graphs to help us represent functions. Okay, so Kyle, guess what? You're on there today. Plans to enroll in a Spanish class at a language school. Okay. Oh, he has to pay. Sorry, I didn't change all the wording apparently. Has to pay a registration fee of $100 plus $20 for each hour-long session he takes. Okay. I changed the name, but I didn't change the pronoun, so... We talked about this right here, $100 plus $20 for each hour-long lesson, so I'm going to make sure I underline that. The relation between the total amount he pays and the number of hour-long lessons he takes is a function, okay? So basically they're telling me I can write an equation, I can write a table, okay? So if I think about this, I'm going to have y equals something, okay? So if it's $100 to start with, that's just what I'm paying strict up front, $100, right? Plus $20 per lesson, okay? Whenever I see for each or per, that means I'm doing some sort of multiplication, okay? So it's 20 times x, okay? And I have the $100 straight fee that I'm paying right off the bat, plus $20 for every hour, okay? So that's my equation. So pretty basic. Your equations are going to be very similar every time in this case, okay? So if I go back and look at a table here, I want to pick some points, okay? I'm going to choose easy x values, okay? 0, 1, 2, 3. I don't need to make life more complicated than it is. Now, I don't want negative numbers in this case because I can't have negative hour-long lessons, right? I can't have -1 lesson. That doesn't make any sense. So I want to make sure that I'm sticking with positive numbers. But I can have 0 lessons to start with, right? If I never take an actual lesson, I'm only paying the $100 fee, right? So if I start with this, if x equals 0, I'm going to plug and chug, okay? 100 plus 2 times 0. Well, that's just going to be 100, right? X equals 1. So I'm going to have 100 plus 2 times 1. Oh, I'm sorry, 20. I apologize, 20. 20 times 0 is still 0, so it's 100. We're good. But 20 times 1 is 20. So 100 plus 20 is just 120. So I'm going to put it in my cute little table here. Oops. If I do x equals 2, I get 100 plus 20 times 2. 20 times 2 is 40. So I get 140. And then my final one, x equals 3. So I get 100 plus 20 times 3. 20 times 3 is 60. And 100 plus 60 is 160. Okay? So notice here I have my cute little table after I've plugged in all those numbers. So if you need to review how I did any of those, ooh, ouch, they're all right there. Okay. Now I'm going to take these wonderful points and I'm going to plot them. Okay, remember in a graph, I've already kind of labeled this. These are my x values here, right? These are my y values. I go to the x value and then the y value. Let me get a color here so you can see. So I've kind of already labeled my points. I skipped a couple lines in between so that way I can actually see it on this graph. So 0, so I'm not moving any of my x, goes to 100. See my point there? 1 goes to 120. can see that one there. So I just want 120. 2 goes to 140, 2, 140. And 3 goes to 160. Wham, bam, we're done there. I'm going to take my cute little straight edge and draw a line through it. Okay. So this is a basic line. We've seen this before. Shouldn't be anything different for you. Okay. And I can tell this is a function, right? If I look here at my vertical line test, it's only hitting 1 point each time my line goes through. Okay. So that's all I want you to do. Find the equation, use the table, graph it. Okay. So if you guys need to, you can steal some graph paper from the side of my bulletin board. All right, let's practice one more. Okay. A tank contains 8 gallons of water, so it's starting with 8. The water is then pumped into the tank at a rate of 2 gallons per minute. So here again, here's that per minute thing. Remember, per minute means I'm going to multiply in some fashion here. And then our original 8 gallons of water. Then it says the total amount of water in the tank, y gallons, is a function of the number of minutes x that water has been pumped into the tank. All that's saying, that last sentence, is I can write it as an equation. Okay? Nothing major there. So again, I'm starting with 8 gallons plus 2 gallons per minute. Okay? So it's 2 times however many gallons I'm putting in. Or I'm sorry, 2 times the number of minutes I'm in. Okay? So if it's 4 minutes, it'll be 8 gallons. If it's 5 minutes, it's 10 extra gallons. Okay? And again, I'm going to create this table. I'm just going to call it 0, 1, 2, 3, okay? Don't make things complicated. You get to choose them. I mean, you can choose 100 if you want, but it's going to make your graph go, woo, crazy. So again, I'm just going to plug and chug here. X equals 0. So I have 8 plus 2 times 0. 2 times 0 is just 0, so I get 8. X equals 1. So I have 8 plus 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is just 2. So I have 8 plus 2, which is 10. And then I get x equals 2. So I have 8 plus 2 times 2. And 2 times 2 is 4, so I have 8 plus 4, which is 12. And then x equals 3. I get 8 plus 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 8 plus 6 is 14. Okay. And again, I'm going to plot these on my cute little map down here, which again I've labeled. Again, I skipped a couple lines in between each one. So that way it'll all work out, okay? So at 0, I'm at 8. So I didn't go over any on my x's, just up 8. 1 goes to 10 here. 2 goes to 12. And 3 goes to 14. Woohoo! Again, I'm going to take my cute little straight edge. Draw my nice little line through it. Wham, bam, I'm done. And again, I can see that it's a function if I draw a vertical line through any of the points. It doesn't hit more than 1 point, so I know it's a function. Okay? So your homework is going to be on page 265, number 1 through 7 all. Okay? All right. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.